Hey, it is so great to be here with you this morning. Would you like to be able to bring in high paying clients like clockwork in your coaching or consulting business? Well, this live stream today is about how coaches can add $100,000 or more in the next 30 to 90 days with virtual or live events. I want to share with you some secrets and some things that you can maybe change if you are running events to help you get better results and make more money. So I'm excited you're here. Say hi. Let me know you are here. Let me get the chat set up here really quick. Yes, let me know that you are joining me. Let me know where you are coming from. So, welcome. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Ann Carden. I am a top business growth strategist and coach, and I work with elite coaches and consultants to really help them scale into multiple 6 and 7 figures, get into that $500,000 and even beyond. But I help them do it with high end clients. So, when I'm talking about high end clients, we're talking about $25,000 or even much more. So, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining me. So, would you like to be able to bring in high paying clients like clockwork in your coaching or consulting business? What is your game plan for 2024? Are you looking to do bigger things? I hope so. Every year you want to be growing. So, let's dive into the 6 steps. Now, are you currently running events and maybe they're not making the money that you want them to make? I want you to know that this was me for a long time. I was doing well with events, I was making money with events, but I wasn't making the money that I knew that I could. And I had to make some tweaks and some shifts to what I was doing. And when I did, it changed everything. And so, this is what I want to share with you today. So, if you are running events and they're not doing what you want, then stay tuned. You are not going to want to miss this. Now, I also want to say this is only one of the strategies that I teach my clients to help them scale their business. I have multiple ways that we actually help grow them and get them into those bigger numbers. But I love this strategy because you can fire this up anytime you want. It can be very rinse and repeat, and you never really have to worry about where your next client is going to come from. But there are other things that you want to do in your business. So you're not relying on just one strategy. But today, this is the one I'm going to talk about. So let's dive in. The first thing, if you are running events, you have probably seen that people fall off. Maybe you've run challenges. There's a lot of 5-day challenges out there, right? And maybe you've seen people fall off over time, or maybe the wrong people are coming. One of the reasons I don't love the sell an event for $197 or $97, and maybe you can get hundreds of people in the room. The reason I don't love that strategy, even though from an ego standpoint it's awesome, right, to have all these TV screens and loads of people on Zoom, the reason I really don't love that strategy is because you bring a lot of people into the room that are never going to buy. They're the wrong fit, and even people that are that just want to learn from you. So even competitors that just want to learn from you. But when you do your events the way I'm going to talk about today, you will be bringing the right people into the room. You'll be curating your own audience like those perfect ideal people. And the thing that makes this so great is you're going to keep the room at a really high level, and you're going to close a lot more business. You're going to be able to make more sales without being slimy or salesy or having to drag people on the bus, because this is where you're going to get to show up, show your brilliance, and get people to want to really buy into what you can help them do. So it's just a very different model from what a lot of people are out there teaching. So you want to make sure that with this strategy, you're keeping the room smaller and you're bringing in the right people. So that is one thing to think about. And I know that's going to be a mindset shift for a lot of people. Okay, so let's jump in. What are the 6 steps? Well, the first step is you want to start with the end in mind. What is it you want to sell in your event? What is it you want to move people to? Now, I recommend that you sell something very high end. This could be $15,000, $25,000. I would say nothing less than 10. I know a lot of people are out there doing $5,000 things, and you can do that. But what about 25,000? The reason I love selling something at 25,000 or $30,000 or even $50,000 is because you don't need a lot of sales to convert to actually get to that $100,000, right? And here's the other piece of it. You don't need hundreds and hundreds of people in the room. So we're talking again about a next level way to run events. So if you're selling something at $25,000 or $30,000, you can see how much easier it is going to be to make that event effective. So start with the end in mind. What is the goal? What is the amount that you actually want to make in that event? What is it you're going to sell? What do you want to move people to? And then you want your title to sell the event, and your title should pull the right people. So your title should be something that your program or your offers is going to ensure that the right people are raising their hand and saying that they're interested in your event. Because again, everything needs to be cohesive so that you can easily move them into a sale. So it starts with the title. I wouldn't want my title to be completely disconnected from what I actually do in my business. And so one of the things that I said to you is this is just one strategy that I help clients implement that can help them do this. But I have multiple ways and multiple strategies. I'm a business coach. I have loads of marketing strategies and sales strategies. And so I want to make sure that people understand that about my business. And I don't want to just sell myself for this one thing, right? It's a piece. So make sure that you're getting the right people. All right. So once you do that, you want to reverse engineer, fill the room with people that are already raising their hand for your topic. They are interested. Okay. The second step is you want to do the math. Now, the math is everything from, okay, how much money do I want to make? How many sales do I need to make to actually hit that number? So let's say you want to make $100,000 in one event. I've done a lot more than that in one event. But you want to make $100,000 in one event. And let's say you're selling something for $25,000, then you need to make at least 4 sales. The reason this is important because now how many people do you need in the room? So if you have a sales conversion at, let's say, 10% or let's say even 20%, then you can do the math and you can see how many people you actually need in the room. And this is a really critical piece. And a lot of people, when they're running events, they don't do this. They don't do the math. They don't break it down. They don't look at the numbers. They just sort of run the event, and it's kind of like sitting and hoping that you will get the sales that you want. And so when you do these steps in this way, you will be able to actually determine, for the most part, the money you're going to make. And this makes your business predictable. This gives you consistency and growth. So let's say, for example, you are making $100,000, and actually, as you get better and better at these, you'll make even more. But let's say you're making $100,000 in each event. And let's say you ran that event 6 times a year, just 6 times a year, every 2 months, you're running a $100,000 event. Well, you have just built a $600,000 business, okay? And that's not doing anything else. Now, again, I teach people lots and lots of ways to grow their business, but you can see how this can be very rinse and repeat. And the reason I love it at the higher level is you don't need loads of volume. And this is a game changer for people. I've had people say to me, Ann, it is exhausting filling events. Well, first of all, you should not be filling them. You should have people that are filling them for you. But I realize when you're first starting, maybe you don't have the cash flow to do that. So if you can so maybe for the first event, you have to do a lot more of the work. But then once you have a successful event, you can take some of those funds and you can now build a small team, or you can do what you need to do on the marketing side to fill the events. So you may have one event where you have to work harder at filling them. But after that, you should not be filling your own events. You get to show up. You get to share your brilliance. You get to do the good stuff. and you get to close the clients into working with you. And so it's a very, very different philosophy. So if you are thinking that way, I want you to shift your mindset, okay? But you have to do the math. You have to know exactly how many events do you need to run throughout the year to hit your big goals. You need to know how many people should be in the room based on your close ratio to hit your big goals and based on what you're charging. And so this is a really, really essential piece. And a lot of people are missing this piece. And it's why a lot of times their events are not doing what they would like them to do financially. Because again, this can be consistency and rinse and repeat and predictability in your growth. All right. The third step, and this is an important one, so really tune in here. Everyone does not get into your event. I like to call this the VIP velvet rope strategy. Years ago, Michael Port in one of his books kind of coined the velvet rope. And this is like, if you think about going to the Oscars or the Emmys or some big event, and not everyone gets behind the velvet rope, right? The VIPs do. The people that are special get behind the velvet rope. Well, you want to do the same thing with your events. You only let in the people that are the right fit. And this means you vet. You have a vetting process, because this is a free event. I don't charge for my free events. I mean, that makes sense, right? I don't charge for my events, but I do make sure I curate the right people into the room. And this is how they are successful. It's not letting everyone in. The other thing that it does is it keeps the room at a really premium high level. And people appreciate that, because now they are in there with other high level people. And so it just keeps the energy high in the room. It's very different from just letting anyone in. So this is an important piece. You want to make sure you have a vetting process to ensure that the right people are going to be in the room, and even the right people that can buy from you, that have the financial resources. And there are ways that you can do this. I can't go into all of these details today. I'm just outlining the event strategy that I use and that I teach my clients to use. But I'm telling you, these secrets are kind of a game changer for most people, especially if you're excellent at what you do. You've been at this for a long time. You get great results for your clients. You should be using this kind of a strategy for scalability. Okay. The fourth thing is you want to give real value. So when people come to my events, I've had people leave my events and go make money the next day. I've had people close multi-five-figure deals right out of my events within just a couple of weeks. And so you want to make sure you give real value. And this is where a lot of people get it wrong, and they give surface level. This is kind of a surface level training. Even though I'm giving you some value here, I'm giving you some takeaways, I can't go deep. I don't have the time to go deep into anything. So this is kind of surface level. But a lot of events out there are surface level. They're not really giving people any kind of meat and potatoes, so to speak. And I want you to know that you have to really detach from thinking that way. And you have to say, you know what? I'm going to show up. I'm going to serve. I'm going to give them everything I can. I'm going to pour into these people. And that is how they will want to work with you. That is the thing that will move them to want to buy, because now they realize, wow, if I got this for free, what would it be like if I really got your help and I worked with you? And so it actually builds more trust and more credibility and more authority, and it moves people through the buyer's journey much faster. And that's the whole purpose of these events. So you want to make sure that in your content, you're going deep into something that is really going to change the game for them. Now, I give a lot in my virtual events, and I typically run them 2 days. I've run different ones, but 2 days, or I'll do a 3-hour pop-up event, or I'll do a 2-day that's maybe 3 hours each one of those days. And we go deep into content, and we work on what I am teaching and what I'm helping people do. And this is what you want to do too. If you want to be able to close those big sales, people are smart, right? They're savvy, and they don't need more ideas. They need real help. They need for you to really show up and be there for them. And so this is an important key factor. in this. Now, they can't get everything from you in a short amount of time. They just can't, right? It's not the same as working with you. You know it. I know it. And there are so many other ways that you are going to be able to help people when they work with you that you can't do in that event. But when you take this attitude, I'm going to show up, I'm going to serve, I'm going to give them everything I've got. I'm not holding back. I'm going to help them. I'm going to answer their questions. When you show up like that, you will get people that will want to move and buy from you. So it's a very different philosophy from what a lot of people are teaching. Also, when you keep the room small and you just have a handful of people in the room and you have the right people in the room, again, you don't need loads and loads of people. So you don't need a lot of volume in the room. A lot of my events, I might have 12, maybe 15 people. I've even had 100K events with less than that. So you can see how much easier it's going to be to fill these events when you don't need hundreds of people or 60 or 70 or 80 people, right? And the other thing is you can fill them a lot of times organically. You don't even necessarily need to be running paid ads and things like that. So you can ramp things up, but all of this needs to be figured out. But and that's more the marketing side of it. But I just want you to know that when you give real value, people will actually refer people to your next event, which is really powerful. So I've had people that have sent people to me to come to my event, and then those people have actually become clients. So it's a really, really powerful way to have a rinse and repeat system in your business. All right. The fifth step is don't sell in the event, move people to want to buy. I'm going to repeat that. Don't sell in the event, move people to want to buy. Now, I've done events both ways. I've done it where they can actually buy, like say they're in and make a deposit on a program. And I've done it where they haven't done that. And I have actually found both ways to work really well. So, but here's the thing. You're not selling. You're moving people to want to work with you and buy from you. And it's all in the way you do this in your event. So you're not pushing people. You're uncovering what they need, and then you're showing them what you have. And so there's nothing slimy or pushy about it. In fact, the last event that I ran, I asked everyone in the room, I said, did anyone feel like I was hard selling them or being sold to? And everyone in the room said, not at all, not at all. Okay, so this is important because a lot of people when you do a webinar, for example, and you're running cold traffic, you've got to be a little bit pushy about the sale because that's what you're trying to accomplish, right? But in an event where people have just spent time with you and you've poured into them and you've cared for them and you've served them, they are actually really excited to hear what it is you have. And this is a very different place to come from. So they want you to show what you have. They want to see how you present your offer. They want to see how they can move to the next step with you and work with you. And it's just a very different setup. Okay. So step number 5 is don't sell, but move people to buy. And then step number 6 is you always want to get testimonials from people from your event, because then you can use this in your marketing going forward. And this is a key piece that people miss. And again, this is part of our strategy that we teach. But every single person that attends my events actually gives me a testimonial about what they gained. Now, this does 3 things actually. Number 1, it continues to build the relationship with the person when you get back on a call with them and they give a testimonial. So that's the first thing. The second thing is it also gives you great marketing material. And then the third thing is it helps you keep making your events better. So when you get real-time feedback from people on what they gained and what they appreciated the most and what they loved about it, that can help you keep making your events better. And so you might start out with a $100,000 event, but that could easily turn into a $150,000, $200,000 plus event as you get better and better and better at these. So I have to tell you, this is a super powerful strategy to use in your business if you're not doing this. Again, it's a piece of what I teach in my accelerator program, and it's such a great way to have predictability and consistency in your growth. And when you really dial this in, you can have clients like clockwork, high paying clients like clockwork, and you will never have to worry about where your next client will come from. So I have to ask you, are you doing this? Now, if you are a business coach or consultant and you're on here with me today, I am running a free workshop in a couple of weeks here, and you can go apply to attend that workshop, and you would go to expertinyou.pro. So the link is right here on the video. You'll be able to see that. Go apply for that event. It is a free 2-day virtual event, and we are going into how to scale how beyond $500,000 in 2024. And this is going to be one of the strategies that I talk about, but there are others as well. So I hope you found this valuable. Let me know your thoughts. Go apply for the workshop coming up. Do not miss that. If you are ready to scale, you're ready to grow your business, you're great at what you do, you want more consistency and predictability, and what if you could grow your business to that beyond $500,000 in 2024? Well, that's what this workshop is all about. So I hope you'll jump in with me, and also leave your thoughts and comments. I would love to see. A lot of times when I'm on Restream, I can't see the comments that come in, so I always have to go back and check. But I will go back and check. And if you have any questions, drop those as well. And I will go back and check everything, and I will engage with you. And by the way, engage. Let me know, put hashtag replay. Let me know what you liked. When you do that, you are now elevating your brand. People are going to see your comments. People are going to see you. And so kind of get out of your own way here. I see a lot of people that show up for things like this. They're lurkers. They don't ever engage. And I want you to know that that isn't really leading yourself into the next level. You want to show up. You want to be visible. You want to be engaged. You want to be grateful for people that are putting out content that's helpful for you. And too often people sit back and they don't do that. And so I just want to encourage you. Let's engage. Let's connect. I want to get to know you. I want to get to know what you're looking for, because I can also send referrals. So don't miss opportunities like this. All right. That being said, go apply to expertinyou.pro if you are ready to scale up to beyond $500,000 in 2024. I can't wait to get to know you. Thank you so much for being here. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.